Hey guys, welcome to the vid. Today I'm going to be showing you like a James hype style build, which you're going to absolutely love. Just want to say before I give you an example of this, if you're brand new to DJing and you want to get good quick without faffing and wasting hours online on YouTube trying to find the videos you want, I can get you to where you want to be in a very quick, systematic way. I've got a series of courses on my website at beginnerdjlessons.com, so if you're interested, make sure you go and check that out. I'll leave a link directly below this video. So without further ado, here is an example of what we're going to be learning in today's video. Right, there we go. So that's the transition I'm going to be teaching you, and so let's get straight into this. So first things first, I've got the pink acapella over here. You can just go to YouTube. This is where I get all my acapellas from. Go to YouTube, type in the song and put acapella after it. It'll come up with the acapella, and then I'm going to be honest with you, I use this thing called clip grab, right? I get all my acapellas off YouTube by ripping them off YouTube, right? And there, I'm being honest with you, you know, I'll probably have the police knocking on the door in a second. It's freaking awesome. You drop it into clip grab, download it. Then I put it into my software, make sure it's all synced up, all the usual stuff, okay? You know, like I chuck it into Recordbox and make sure that the BPM is going right and blah, blah, blah. So it's all synced up, right? I cover this in other tutorials. I'm not going to cover that in this one. So that's that, put that in there. This other song is called Leaving by, can't remember the name. I can't remember the name on the top of my head. This is a terrible tutorial so far. I'm thinking about starting it again, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep pushing through. So, next thing I did was sync up the two so they're the same speed, right? And the other thing I've done here is I've actually pitched down this vocal twice. You can do this with most DJ software these days. On these DJ decks here, you can just press up and down, but like say on the DDJ 400, there's like the key and you can go in and pitch them down that way. Oh Christ, this is turning into this is an awful tutorial. So yeah, if you were to use these, for example, you can come to key shift, right? And then you can just knock it down 2 keys, 2 semitones, which will put it into the same key as this song here. But the main thing to bear in mind is whatever key your track is in, you want to take your acapella and put it in the same key as that. It just so happens to work quite well because this vocal sounds kind of cool pitched down. This is it normally. I'm coming out. Almost sounds like a chipmunk now. You go down 2, right? And now it's in the same key as this. So that's everything that's happened up to this point. Now, on the build, what you do is you can kind of bring this acapella in on phase or phrase, okay? So for example, what I've done is if I go back to the beginning of this drop to here, which is right there it is, and yeah, okay, so I basically bring it in 8 bars beforehand, okay? So that's when I'm going to bring this in. So you may want to put a marker there. You can go and put a cue point here, put a marker there so you know that's where you're going to bring it in. And then just come back a little bit further from that point and set a hot cue, okay? So you know you can practice this easily by just putting that hot cue in. And at that point, you want to bring this acapella in. I'm using hot cues to bring it in. I've got one here, but you can of course just go to this point here and set a marker and put a cue point there, whatever. So you know as soon as that phrase, 8 bars before the drop hits, you hit play over here. That bit's relatively straightforward and will sound like this. Now, one thing you will notice is it sounds a little clashy. So one thing I actually do right at the beginning is I kind of cut some of the frequencies, the high frequencies from the Leaving song to give a bit more space for the vocal. Notice me do this, okay? I'm going to play them both at the same time. And you're just going to notice that the frequency is going to be moved out of each other's way. You see, it just frees a little bit of space. But because we kind of have this song building, I pretty much quite quickly just kind of bring them back in. It just gives that vocal space just while the audience go, we know what a cappella this is, right? So I just kind of cut it at the beginning and then bring it in so it sounds a little bit like this. On the second time she sings I'm Coming Up, I actually put a loop on for the first 2 beats of the bar, like this. Oh, get it right, Phil. Okay, so that's now looping. Now, you can tighten this loop, is one way to do this, but because I'm doing this James Hype stuff over here, you kind of don't need to tighten the loop, because that's just a consistent noise now. It's just a kind of noise, and then you can put on this kind of effect, which is the next thing we're going to get into. So to go through the whole thing up to this point, we've got this. Okay, that's where we're at so far. Now, at this point, to make this section a little bit more interesting, I cut the volume in and out. The easiest way to do this is with the crossfader, I find, because with the crossfader, you only need a little tap and it taps the sound in and out. Listen. Takes a little bit of practice, and this is the section which is going to be something you have to practice to get good at. It's going to feel weird at first. So with the crossfader, what you do is you just kind of balance your thumb against the crossfader, and then like a hammer hitting a nail on the head, you just slam your finger into it. And as long as you've got your crossfader on like the kind of tightest crossfader settings, like this one here, which you can usually get to in your settings, you only need to enter it in a little bit for it to be full volume. So by just hammering it like that will allow you to create this rhythm. Okay? However, you will never see James Hype do it that way. He always does it this way here, right? The reason for this is because he often has several decks going on, and he just knows which lane his acapella is on, so we can just grab this and do this instead of this. Whereas, you know, if for example this acapella was over here, I'd have to come and swap these around so I knew which was cutting in and out, and that's kind of confusing. So the way he does it is he just grabs this. I personally find this harder because this is more of a long drawn out fade. So instead of the crossfader just tapping in like this, you need to bring it down quite a long way to get the same effect. However, if you practice it, it's the same kind of thing. You put your thumb there, and with these fingers, I kind of hammer. Okay, like that. So essentially, you kind of bring it down, and then release. Down, release. That's the action you are going to practice. And I would almost practice just coming up with rhythms. Like literally stand in front of your DJ decks and go. And by the way, I've just done something quite complicated there. I would actually start off by just putting on a beat and doing this to the beat. Try doing it double time to the beat. Once you get really good at that, then you can think about just coming up with a rhythm. Now, don't make these rhythms too complicated, like da 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 da. You know, you're just practicing this. That's the thing. And, you know, I kind of don't want to frustrate anybody out there because I so know what it's like in your situation now where you get a guy on YouTube like me going, oh, it's easy, you just kind of go da 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 da, and it's like, what the heck? I will be honest with you and say, this just takes time. This will frustrate you at points. So hopefully by just me telling you that, it will actually put you into a more relaxed state. Like, look, Phil says this can take time and it just needs practice. So don't expect to get this straight away. This was supposed to be a quick tutorial, but actually I'm not a fan of just going, just do this, you know, because I'm aware that it's not an easy thing. It has to be muscle memory this. So it's something you do have to practice. Let's get on with it. So at that point, we got to the point where we're doing da 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 da. Let me do it up to this point. Okay, that's the point we've got up to. Now at the last moment, just to add an additional layer of urgency and complexity to this, James Hype often slams the play and pause button to create this do, like we call it a tape stop. It's like do. Okay, that's the kind of sound. That's a tape. If you ever hear like somebody speaking and then it slows down and goes down in pitch, it's called tape stop. It's like ow. You can do that with these decks. So in preferences, you can go and you can affect the play and pause speed. Okay, this is relatively easy to do. I'm not actually going to run you through that in this tutorial, but on these DJ decks here, it's just kind of vinyl speed, right? So if I do this quickly now, if I slow it down, right, so I kind of have it like kind of halfway. Like I said, just, you know, preferences, play and pause speed, you'll find it relatively easy this, okay? So, what you've now got is a moment where you're gonna hammer this on and off, so it sounds a bit like this. You see what's going on? It's like this. You just gotta kind of practice, but you're essentially doing it to the beat. Da-do, da-do, da-do. Okay, listen again, one more time. Okay, so that's that. Pretty much everything. This is really complicated, actually. I've tried to make this seem like it's a really simple thing. It's actually kind of complex. So you're going to be going da 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 da, and then at the last minute you hold it all the way up and go, and then you let the drop play. Again, this is just practice and kind of getting a vibe. You'll know by listening to the song, oh my god, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. It's building, it's building, it's building. So at the last minute, okay, let's do it. I just messed it up. Okay guys, so there you go. Now there's only one last thing I want to mention is if you are using a different acapella, the whole point of this is you need to get a tight enough loop on the acapella that it's just a consistent sound, right? So for example, if I go back to the beginning of this, she's singing, I'm coming up, and because it's just a consistent long note she's holding, I can loop a big chunk of it and get away with it, right? Listen. Just a long, consistent note, which allows me to do whatever I want with this. If you are using a different acapella, you may have to tighten it, so even you're just looping one word, it's looped tight enough that it just makes a consistent sound. So for example, let me go to a different point. So you better get this party started. Right, let's just say I was going to loop on the word better. This is how I do it. I loop in at the beginning of better, out at the ending of better, and then I'd hit the out button and tighten the loop one way, and then the in button and tighten the loop the other way. Let me show you this. So you better. Right? You see how that works? Okay guys, so that's everything for today. If you guys are brand new to DJing and you want to know more, you want to get good quick without, you know, faffing around on YouTube for hundreds of hours, and you just want someone to show you how to DJ in a nice systematic way, go and check out beginnerdjlessons.com. I've got a beginner, I've got a DJing live course, I've got an advanced course, I've got a scratching course, I've got loads of awesome courses that will get you to where you want to be in the quickest way possible. I'm doing videos all the time on YouTube, so if you're interested, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I will see you in tomorrow's video. Ciao!